So quick vibe check in this studio because a lot is happening. Tony is doing double hang 10s, a hang 20, I guess. We are promised the most Stugotz that Stugotz has ever been. That is coming up later in the show. We're getting something that involves Dan Snyder's blackmail PowerPoint with Don Van Natta exclusively. An exclusive interview in which we kind of do wake and bake in that regard because
Are you baked right now?
a little bit. The vibe check, though, is because David Samson just spent the last, 30 seconds frantically filling his giant candy bag.
I ran out last night during the All-Star Game, and so I had to do a refill, and I did not have time before recording today's Nothing Personal, and I knew I had 13 minutes post Nothing Personal pre-live, so I knew that I had the plan, and they have the baggies here, so it all worked out, and I was done exactly by 9 o'clock.
How long will it take you to consume that gigantic bag of candy?
This will be a couple days.
Okay. That's it. I just wanted to know because that's a lot of candy. It was honest. It was the most serious I've ever seen somebody about filling up a giant bag of candy.
Well, it was like watching someone try to defuse a bomb.
I didn't get to the shake yet.
I get what you're saying. Where you mix it up because right now they're all kind of stuck together with their same candies. Let's see this thing.
So YouTube.com/LeBatard and Friends. You can watch this, or for the podcast audience, you can ASMR this. So David, if you want to.
Well, the shake actually is an interesting way to do it because right now it's layered.
Right.
And so the way the shake goes, you have to start horizontal.
You got to get your fingers in there, really massage it. Yeah.
You've done this.
I mean, I can just. I know.
You've done this.
This is my area.
It's so important.
Because you got to really feel it. You're really massaging this bag of candy.
You do left, right, left, and then up, down.
I've
down,
never
up?
done it before. I'm just imagining. But
there's a system.
Yeah, let me see.
So you start horizontal, then you go. This is down. This is up, and then you go sideways, and then this way, and then back down, and then look what happens all of a sudden. Now take a look at the
I was really
mix,
hoping that bag would open.
just like that. No, it would never open.
Now, what candy is most likely to get damaged in this process?
I don't have candy in a bag that when I do this that is damageable. The only possible damage is the nonpareils, where you get the white tops of the nonpareils that end up floating to the bottom, and the sugar from the spice drops, which ends up at the bottom of the bag.
How are you not diabetic?
Great question.
I am not diabetic at all.
I also have no idea what a nonpareil is.
Do you know what a snow cap is?
I do know what a snow cap is.
That's a nonpareil. That's like the Kleenex tissue that we were talking about.
You're eating the hydroxes of snow caps?
Actually, snow caps are the hydroxes of nonpareils.
So for people for people who don't appreciate why you have this terrible assortment of candy, it comes from, of course, trauma, as all things do with you. But also, you've chosen a particularly bad combination of candy as a result of that childhood molding.
You're yucking on my yum for no particular reason.
In a literal sense in this case.
Right. I don't know why you would do that. I'm missing my favorite candy, and I don't mix those, are the black jelly beans. Those get their own
Now you're
bag.
just trying to annoy us.
Yeah, you are really annoying me. Yeah.
You know how to play the hits in terms of I know what will get the room going. And you knew what you were doing there.
I can't taste them. That's
right.
the worst
You still
part.
can't taste?
The vibes are bad.
Haven't most people gotten their taste back?
vibes
What's the
are
percentage of
bad.
people that lost their taste and never got it back?
There's a lot of us.
Man.
A lot of us. They're studying it.
That
They're saying
stinks.
2 years. 2 years away. They're going to have something.
Is it going to end up being profitable for you? Like, is this going to end up working out in your favor? Like, I don't know, man. Anyone that ended up losing their taste gets this.
Like a lawsuit? What are you talking
A
about?
class action
I don't
lawsuit?
know, man. It just feels it's unfair what he's had to deal with.
Let's go down this road for a second.
Big COVID.
Who's paying who what and
Anthony
why?
Pfizer.
Fauci.
Pfizer. I don't know, man. I'm just
Moderna?
I don't know.
It's from COVID. It's not from the vaccine.
I know. I'm just making. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't know where to go with this.
Great medium to do that.
So, speaking of people losing a taste for things, did you guys watch any of the baseball All-Star Game last night?
You lost your taste for baseball?
I mean, minimal consumption for me on that event.
Pablo was annoyed with me last night because at dinner I said we have to eat early as though we're getting the early bird special in Florida because I need to be in front of the TV at 8 o'clock. I don't need to watch the pregame with Jeter and with Poppy, who's great, and with A-Rod, who's not. But I need to be there for the game. And
Is that why yesterday when you left, you said to Pablo, I'll see you downstairs at 5:57?
That's exactly right.
You're a very specific person. You're always like, I'll be there at 6:04.
The most specific person.
And you were late.
I was there at 5:59.
That's exactly right. And I waited to text you. Did you
I
get
walked
the
in.
I'm in lobby
I
text?
walked in as he hit send on "I'm in lobby."
Because it was not reasonable, because he didn't have a long commute. He couldn't say he was stuck in traffic. He just was delayed for whatever particular reason. And I knew we had to leave the hotel at 5:57 to get to the dinner at 6 o'clock, which is when the reservation was. So we walk in late. I'm immediately apologizing to the hostess, saying, hey, sorry we're 3 minutes late, and I did one of these.
But she could see who you were, like, he could see that you were pointing at him, even though you
Oh,
were
I
trying
did
to
it
block
purposefully.
No, I know.
I did that so he would know. I don't want to be blamed for being late. It's rude.
So anyhow, David shoveled in a bunch of pasta that he could not taste at all, and then ran back to watch this event, which I'm curious if anybody outside of David Samson actually. Lucy Rodine is already shaking her head
Heck no.
vigorously.
I'm not watching that. Heck no.
I didn't even know it was last night. I thought it was today. Bad marketing by the MLB.
I
the way.
watched
You got to
it.
let me know, hey, it's today.
I like to see all the baseball players that I don't know. Because, like, that, back in the day, I would know every single person on the All-Star. Nowadays, you can sneak one by me. I learned of some people last night.
What about
Who's
the
the
ones you
baseball
do know?
player
Why
you
wouldn't
least
you want to
knew?
watch Arias get 2 hits and 2 pitches?
Oh, no, I did, and I enjoyed it. I will admit I checked out around the 5th inning. But I did. I like the pregame festivities. I like the red carpet. I like the introductions. I like to just – it's a good way to see, okay, these are the good – because, like, people like me who love baseball but aren't following it as closely as they did when they were younger, the All-Star Game is a good way to be like, I'm actually learning of some players.
Well,
through it.
that was the whole point once upon a time, was that these players never assembled in one place, the American League and the National League, never mixed in that way. And so this was actually, it was a mystery box into which you finally saw this thing you'd only imagined. What was it like for these guys, for Mickey Mantle to face Sandy Koufax? Not the same era, but you get my drift. What would it be like for these
That's the
leagues
best
to
you can
mix?
come up with, right?
This is all
Very
I got.
quick. That's all
this
you
is
got.
all I got.
Mickey Mantle and Sandy Koufax.
Louis Tiant.
Good.
Versus
and George Scott.
Yeah, very good. So the point is, over time, of course, this has. Look, I don't want to recap the history of the Baseball All-Star Game, but it declined in that way as interleague play increased. There was a tie, and people were infuriated with Bud Selig making that gesture. And now where are we as baseball is trying to reclaim youth and has this point in the calendar where I'm actually compelled to check in on whether they're making the most of this point specifically in the sports calendar.
It is the best All-Star Game. I think we can all agree with that. There is no, when you look at hockey, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball's All-Star Game is the number one. And they're doing
No one is nodding in assent when you say that. No one can disagree with that.
I'm happy to put that on the poll, is which league has the best All-Star Game.
So it's not the NBA.
Do you view NBA's All-Star Game as a better game where it's just back and forth, no defense? It's like the NFL
Probably a
Pro
close
Bowl.
second.
It's the one that's mocked the most. I agree with David. Basketball, everyone says what a joke the basketball All-Star Game is. But I don't think any of them are really – I think it might be your baseball prism here. Like, I don't think that people think baseball's the worst, but I don't think it's clearly number one like you're saying. I think it's fine. The home run derby, I think, is fun. Like the dunk contest, people think that's fun, but I don't know.
Pro Bowl is clearly terrible.
Terrible. They
The
got rid of it.
NBA All-Star Game, when they play with the Elam ending where they have a target score and they create excitement and suspense at the end of the game, I am intrigued by that, but the game itself, of course, devoid of defense, to your point, not great. Major League Baseball,
Those guys are blowing. Everybody's coming out of the bullpen
So
blowing 100.
you do get to see, like, it is like you get to see great pitchers against great hits. Just one at bat, so it's obviously a small sample. But yeah, like they are trying in those moments. Like,
so tell me what you saw, David, that got you legitimately into this.
When you see a game end, remember how the World Baseball Classic ended? Even if you don't like baseball, do you remember Shohei Ohtani pitching to Mike Trout to end the World Baseball Classic?
Yes.
That was a moment
An
that
all-time at-bat.
an all-time magical moment. Two teammates facing each other to win the World Baseball Classic. It would be like a PK for two teammates with someone taking the PK and his own goalie from his own team is defending it. And here in the All-Star game, we had a situation where Julio Rodriguez could have walked off. He's the hometown hero, Seattle, the young guy, getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. They signed him. He had an at-bat against Craig Kimbrell, down 1 with a man on. The crowd's going crazy like Roy Hobbs in The Natural with the opportunity. They're chanting his name, and he walks. It was cool, but it ended up with a walk because it's hard to actually have an ending where he hits the home run. What are the odds? But still, it was really cool.
That was incredibly anticlimactic.
Not if you were watching. Not if you heard 50,000 people chanting his name. The excitement of that. The excitement of Julio Rodriguez's first at-bat when against Duvall, where you just see what it is to throw 100 and to be standing in the batter's box. The cameras, everybody was mic'd. Have you ever heard a pitcher mic'd while pitching?
That was annoying to me. I felt bad for Nathan Eovaldi. He's trying to pitch. He's got runners on first and second. Gives up base hits to start the inning. It's first and second. Nobody out. He's behind 2-0, and John Smoltz is just like, "This is fun, isn't it?" And he's just like, "I'm just trying to get a strike here."
He talked to him during the windup.
Yeah, he's like literally, and then they're doing play-by-play, so he's hearing the play-by-play as he's pitching. It's honestly odd.
So that experiment where you have these guys mic'd up, would you recommend they do that in the actual regular season games, the games that matter? Could you see that happening in the games that matter?
No, we fought about that. The players had to agree to do it during the Jewel events, like an All-Star game, during an exhibition game. And we made great progress, like having Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman both mic'd up.
That was cool. They were like talking to each other.
You've got teammates playing center field and first base talking to each other, which you can't do during a game because they're not communicating. You've got the catcher talking to the umpire or to the hitter. You've got the hitter and the pitcher in the same at-bat on the same feed. Corbin Carroll and Nate Eovaldi were talking to each other.
I'm into that.
That's cool. You don't do that during the regular season because obviously there's a strategic disadvantage to doing it. The thing that we fight for are post-game interviews. The post-game, when your pitcher comes out, we want that pitcher to interview with your local TV network right after he comes out of the game, and we could not get that in the formal agreement because some pitchers are very grumpy when they get taken out of a game, when they get shelled. But I like that visceral emotion. I think the fans would love to hear from a pitcher who just got his ass kicked what he's thinking, but pitchers don't want to do that.
You want the reality show exit interview.
Those are great.
Once you are voted off the island, you want a camera in someone's face asking them, what does it feel like to be the first person voted off of Survivor Philippines?
I was asked 2 seconds after I was voted off to meet the camera.
So David said something in that last segment that really caught my ear because I've gotten to know you over these dinners where you eat food that you can't taste and you create giant candy bags in ways that are informed by your childhood traumatic experiences. Because what you said was that this baseball All-Star game was especially thrilling if you heard the 50,000 people in the stadium in Seattle cheering, screaming for that last at-bat. And what I know about you is that you specifically don't like going to movie theaters, even though you love, more than anyone else that I know, even more than you love baseball, I think, you love movies. And why don't you need a movie theater?
I don't need community laughs for me to think something's funny. I don't laugh when other people laugh and say, "Oh, I think something's funny because it's funny," or I cry when I think something's sad. I don't look around to see, is it okay for me to laugh now, or is it okay for me to cry now? I don't care. It's what I want.
So sports, you do need the crowd. You appreciate that.
I appreciate the crowd in sports, but I never needed it. I'm the one who had the plan to move to Vegas, where we'd play in an empty stadium where the casino would buy out every seat, buy all the food in advance, and there'd be 10 high rollers at the game or nobody at the game, and I'd be fine. So no, I need the revenue, but I don't need the crowd. What I was telling you is it's cool when it happens.
It is cool when it happens, but more than that, David, you are on this sort of island psychologically, I feel like, which is not unique on this program, because hearing people in a crowd react to something is not just a thing that humans enjoy. It is an incredibly popular genre across like YouTube, across like one of the things I'm very embarrassed to still tear up at when I go on YouTube is the in-movie theater crowd reaction to that scene in Avengers Endgame when Captain America gets Thor's hammer.
Spoiler alert.
And
Probably do that the other way next time.
The crowd goes wild. And it is such, I mean, I don't want to explain the whole context of that scene and why it matters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I tear up at that specifically because the people in the theater are so moved by this. This is like the logic of reaction videos. Are you guys familiar with reaction videos? Like, this is millions upon millions. I feel so old asking, do you guys know what reaction videos are?
Can you explain it to us? Go ahead. We're not sure back here.
You're just watching people watch things. You are specifically watching someone watch things. Their experience, their reaction gets in the way of the actual source material because what you actually want is to watch the person watch it.
Can you see the source material?
Yeah,
So
but it's just in a
you're-
smaller box. The bigger box, often, not always, is the person that you are actually there to watch. I mean, the point is,
Are there
you
professional
need-
people who do this?
Yes.
Who get paid to react?
Welcome to the internet.
One of the most popular guys on TikTok, his whole bit is just finding really cringy videos and then just like making like a what is that face, and he's like the most followed person on TikTok.
Do you get to see what he's cringing at?
Yeah, so it'll be like a split screen, and so it'll be like, yeah, so it'll be like something really cringy, and then this guy just there like, and he's made millions of followers and probably millions of dollars off of it.
I like when you say, and probably millions of dollars. I have yet to see the monetization of the influencers.
What?
Oh, it's happening.
I-
What are
I'd
you
like
talking-
to
What
see-
do
You
you
want the
mean?
tax- you want the tax
Absolutely
returns or
happening.
I like to
something?
see the W2s.
Release the tax returns.
I think there's a lot of people who say they make a lot of money as influencers who actually don't. There's a certain number who do, but I think it's way fewer than you think. I think it's like being a professional athlete. There's only the top of the top are making
But
a living.
even that metaphor is such a giant win for the category of influencers. They're like professional athletes, which I think is an appropriate metaphor. There is an upper class, a tier of all-stars that are reacting to videos and getting millions of views and millions of dollars. That is real. And certainly there are a bunch of like, two-way contracts and G Leaguers who are trying to
Right.
climb the ladder. But the point is that the reaction video, watching someone else react to something, there is something vicarious that we do. When I first saw it, I thought it was so dumb. I had the David Samson reaction, but then I found my tear ducts filling. And I was like, why is this working on me? And it was because I was viscerally experiencing what that person experienced. It almost felt like I was getting permission to So one big genre of reaction videos that I find fascinating is people who react to music, to songs. So there are, if you've ever seen that video of like the two twins who react to In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins for the first time, like that moves me.
How do you get better in terms of when you're in the G League, maybe you work on your jump shot or your ball handling skills in the hope of signing a two-way deal, then a 10-day contract, then maybe you get invited to training camp, or in baseball you work way up. How do reaction people who are not making money, what is their path to profit?
You just keep making it. Like the way that like TikTok and Instagram's algorithms work is if you just keep producing content, eventually you will get followers and you will get views and you understand what works based off that, and that's how you sort of like grow your platform and skill set.
So is it almost a guarantee? You're making it sound as though if you keep doing it, like there are people who could take jump shots their whole lives and never be good enough to be in the NBA. Is there talent involved, or is it literally just amount of content?
I think it sort of depends on the video. Like some of this reactionary stuff, if you're just like making a weird face, I don't think that takes a lot of talent, you know, and it'll eventually catch on. Like that's the whole bit with TikTok. That's why people like it so much.
But there's also a gaming of the algorithm in the sense that you are going to find things that people are already searching for. So for instance, like Olivia Rodrigo has a new music video, Vampire. And immediately, because I am now obsessed with reaction videos.
You've never sounded younger, by the way, with that sentence.
I'm wearing a jean jacket and everything. So
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. So I'm looking at Olivia Rodrigo, Vampire, music video reactions within a day after it comes out, and it is flooded. There are vocal coaches, speaking of people with skills, who are analyzing this. There are the experts, right? Are they impressed by Olivia Rodrigo? That is a thing. There are the super fans who are experiencing it for the first time, like the baseball fans who are cheering wildly because finally they have this all-time thing, and they are loving it, and therefore, if you watch it, you are vicariously loving it as well. And then there are the skeptics, the people who are like, I was told Olivia Rodrigo was a Taylor Swift ripoff. Let's see what this is about. And then they, almost invariably, are converted, and they're blown away. And so there's this like taxonomy of reactions. There are the super fans, the experts, and there are the skeptics. And in all of these cases, you get either validation with the super fans because they love something that you love. You get validation from the expert because they are impressed by something you're impressed by. And there's the skeptic that validates you because they actually realize your opinion is right. This is awesome. And in all of these cases, you're talking about millions upon millions, potentially, of people enjoying it for that reason.
And what are you doing? What is your job in terms of, are you taking this in? Is it enjoyment? Are you doing this instead of reading a book or watching a movie? Or how does your time allocation work?
So the reason I stumbled on this in the first place was that when I get obsessed with a song, I'm the sort of guy who just plays that song over and over again.
Samesies.
So what I tried to do then, after that, I was like, let me look up covers. And I was like, covers of this song on YouTube, just because I want to like throw some variety in there. Like, that's not enough. The reaction video portal was this thing that scratched my itch to keep on listening to something, but to put some other new, again, psychological spin on it. And I found it to be, I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud that the two twins who've never listened to Phil Collins are somehow emotionally activating me. Have you guys seen, this is such, I'm such a cosplaying young person right now. Have you guys seen the video of Maggie Rogers debuting her song in front of Pharrell?
I love that video.
It's a great video.
I don't know who
great
these
video.
people are.
I know who
I know who Pharrell is.
Well,
I know who
Maggie
Pharrell
Rogers
is.
is
I
the
don't
Get
know
Happy.
Maggie who?
Maggie
heard of her.
Rogers. It's
She's a great singer.
David Samson, Roy Bellaby, Venn diagram in the center of it. No idea who Maggie Rogers is.
But I now know why you're always late,
Absolutely.
because you're one rabbit hole to the next.
No, that's not why he's always late.
One of the phone calls that you make to me when you are in a rabbit hole, I didn't realize this till I knew you longer. You're in rabbit holes all day long.
Yes.
It's what you do.
correct.
That's not healthy.
I'm a rabbit hole guy.
Are you diabetic?
Are you a diabetic?
How dare you? How dare the man with the giant bag of candy ask me that question? But the Pharrell Maggie Rogers thing is one of the greatest videos. I should have told the video team to prepare at least the visuals on this. Didn't know we'd be talking about it. But Pharrell Maggie Rogers is a student at NYU in their music program. And she is in class, and Pharrell is a guest instructor / judge. Pharrell, playing the role of expert reactor, is being presented with these students who are debuting their just songs that they've been working on for the first time. And Pharrell listening to Maggie Rogers, cold, having never known who this person is before, much like Roy at this point in the story. His face, the conversion of an expert, him being blown away as this song is unfolding, is
Isn't that America's Got Talent?
And him hearing like her whole story, you could just because like she kind of gives a background. The teacher gives a background of who Maggie is to Pharrell, and then the song plays, and you could just see him seeing her entire story. He's just blown away of just like I have zero notes. He's like I can tell. He's like It's a drug for me when I hear something that is so original, and I just heard this, and I've never heard that before.
Did he sign her?
I don't know.
A
But she became huge after
Yes,
that.
she became a huge recording artist, but Pharrell's face, just like watching him listen is the thing. And you're right, though. It's a great point. This is also the premise of like American Idol. Like you are watching these judges become converted, become impressed. It's someone else's judgment being a stand-in for maybe the judgment you want to see or wish you had the ability to give.
We're getting a lot of shows like that because of the writer's strike. There's a lot of unscripted, and it's all people. Maybe we're just going to have shows of people reacting.
Just you bringing out giant, embarrassing bags of candy and people being horrified.
Okay.
So there is a topic that has been on our big board for the entire week, and I've been meaning to get to it. And it's a Chris Cody topic, so this is a dangerous game.
Why?
Because we asked you for a topic before, and you did a GPS thing.
That I have seen so many tweets of people being like, "You were spot on with that. Thank you. You're welcome, listener."
The game that Chris Cody has been meaning to play here is people you would most want to be.
It's the World Series of Poker right now, so let's do this poker themed. I have a poker hand. Texas Hold'em, 2 cards in my hand. The person two people that I would most want to be, you need to beat my hand. So I'm going to say 2 people right now of who I'd most would want to be outside of myself, because I love myself. I don't want this to, everyone loves who they are. I don't want this to become something else.
Everyone should love who they are.
Meh.
I love who I am. I just want that to be
We love
stated.
you too, Chris.
Thank you.
We love who you are.
I feel like
I don't want anyone to choose
we
themselves.
all
I feel
should
like
say that we love Chris.
I was just saying. I
Hold
was
on,
saying,
wait.
is.
In this game, when you name the 2 people and then someone tries to beat you with the 2 people, does one of your 2 people become you? And I'm now sitting next to this person at work.
Yeah. Well, no. I get to go do what they do, so I'm gone now.
But they don't get to come be.
Oh, so we're just swapping.
do.
So you have me and
You're
Patrick
not like
Mahomes just
Freaky
swapping.
Fridaying with Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes will then be EPing the show. That'd be funny. All right, my 2 people: Taylor Swift, Patrick Mahomes.
You just
Did you
dropped
just
the
drop
pin.
your pen?
Yep.
What happened there?
You want Taylor Swift's life?
Yeah, I just
Or
think
her talent?
just if you turn
Her money?
like who they are, the money they have, the life they get to live. I just saw what inspired this is Patrick Mahomes. I just read this article, designed this house in Kansas City that is just like he's got a golf
got a
hole,
football
he's
field
got a
in the
lake,
back,
half a football field. It was just
it's a humongous.
I was just like,
custom-built
wow,
house.
that seems awesome to be him. He's just the best quarterback. He's in his prime. It just I just Patrick Mahomes, and then I was just like, all right, who else would I want to be? And I mean, T Sizzle. I mean, can you beat that?
She looks like she's having fun.
I mean, her life that she probably lives that life where she can't go anywhere. So like, there are some negatives
people
to being.
still go to the house she used to live in the West Village just to take pictures of it, and she hasn't lived there in like 8 years.
Because it's not just about money. Because I think I brought this up off air yesterday, and I think Tony was like, someone said Jeff Bezos, and it's like, yeah, like a lot of people have money. But I wouldn't want to be Jeff Bezos because then you have to like, it's all about what they look like. You know, there's a lot of factors.
Because you don't think he's hot.
No, it's more just
This
like.
is based on looks.
Not
only?
looks, just like vibe.
But if you could choose being an attractive person,
I wanna
versus
walk
an
into a-
unattractive person. Chris Cody's weighing
You
that.
could say attractiveness.
Chris
I'm
is
gonna
worried
say
about-
that's
I'm gonna say
Chris
vibes.
is worried about Jeff Bezos' body count.
It's the
He's
vibes.
like, eh.
No. It's really just like Jeff Bezos walks into a room. Like I'm just not like that's the man I want to be. You watch Patrick Mahomes walk into the stadium with the shade. It's like
So Chris is okay.
it's
So
the vibe more than just what
This
he
is a
actually
weird
looks
game.
like.
So Chris has the walk into a room test. David is worried about this game.
I feel like David's gonna be like, I want to be me. That's why I was trying to say we all know we love ourselves. You can't be yourself. Take that off the table. I don't want to hear anyone say I wouldn't want to be. I could hear Tony go in that lane.
I know
I'm happy
exactly
with
who
who
I
I
wanna
am.
be.
That's 2 shots on me. I haven't said a word
I
here.
just-
I'm
I
trying
can-
to play the
what was
game
the
with
other
you.
shot?
I'm waiting for it.
I'm not
that I
taking
said Jeff
shots.
Bezos. I didn't say Jeff Bezos.
I think wasn't
it was
that
Fuentes.
you? It was Fuentes. Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Tony, do you have a rebuttal? Do you have 2 people? I can't really
I
think
do.
of
I have
anyone.
I have one off the top of my head for sure that I wish I could be this person because he's lived such an incredible life. And when I say it, you guys are gonna laugh. But think about what he does versus the.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, I'm like,
No,
I
no.
have a
racing.
prediction here.
No. So it's Chase Daniel. I would love to be Chase Daniel.
That's a great answer.
Dude's made $40 million, holds a clipboard on the sideline, gives people high
That is a
fives
good
and ass
answer.
slaps. And dude, I could have done that my entire career.
Only half a poker hand, but it's a good start.
That's
so
a good
far,
start.
this personality test is really checking out so far. Guy who stands up in the background doing nothing and gets paid a lot of money is the Tony choice.
Isn't that the American dream?
It really is.
I can't blame
It
Tony
really
for
is.
going down that.
You want me to be Patrick
train of
Mahomes with
thought.
the entire weight of the empire on my shoulders?
Yeah, you
Nah.
have to play with a broken ankle.
Nah.
The
And it
pressure.
needs-
I did.
yeah.
That was
That was Alex
terrible.
Jones.
No, that was bad.
I've done better. I've done a better Patrick in the past. I'm sorry, Patrick.
I know exactly who I want to be. Who's next?
Well, I want to hear. I only
You have
heard.
a
I only saw
second,
one
Tony?
of Tony's cards. There's 2 cards here. You
Yeah,
want to
but
give
in
your
Texas
second one later?
Hold.
yeah. No, let's go around the room. Let's keep it unfolding. David has already jumped to the front of the line here. What do
Well,
you
I
got?
just it occurred to me very quickly who I'd want to be, and this is not in any way meant to suck anyone's tuchus. I want to be Dan Le Batard. And the reason I want to be Dan Le Batard is that he is famous but not too famous. He has enough money to do whatever he wants, but not everything he wants. He can do anything he wants, but not everything. And he's got a love in a relationship that I could only dream about. And that combination of things is pretty damn powerful. And he's got an unbelievable work environment with what he's created. And if you think about all the things he's done over his career, that's a good one.
I think all of us are trying to calibrate the joke we want to make after you said that, and no one's sure.
I don't know why. I'm not making a joke about Taylor Swift. I'm talking about the different things that I assume, Chris, when you come up with this list, that you're thinking about all the downside of people because it's not all rainbows and unicorns for famous rich people.
No, I mean Dan's not a bad answer. I mean he's like you said, all the reasons you said. I don't disagree. I mean
Have
Dan
you
also-
considered the sweat level though? Just like the sheer bodily humidity at all
I thought
times.
it's in my body.
No.
Wait a minute. So you're going to be Taylor Swift as in your Taylor Swift's
Yeah.
body?
I'm becoming Taylor Swift.
That's right.
It's like Quantum Leap.
He's not Chris Cody, but
love
with a
Quantum
music
Leap.
career.
I
and
thought he was Chris Cody.
doing tours every night.
That's what I
still
thought.
bejeweled. I'm young.
I don't want to be.
Barely.
You are now. I'm sorry. David Samson has just become Dan Le Batard.
It's over, Dave. Sorry.
I didn't see that as part of the rules.
Look how stressed you are. You already look stressed.
You've made a terrible decision.
He's very tall.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can be that tall.
You're gonna have to lay down in between segments on the floor.
You don't know if you could be that tall?
I never.
What does
have-
that mean? I don't know if I could be that tall.
I never.
He's not 9 feet tall.
He's very tall.
He's like 6'3".
6'3".
You don't think that's above average
He is
height?
hulking.
He's an
To
inch
people
taller
me
than
and
I
David
am.
Guys,
size,
what are
he's
we
very
arguing with
tall.
here? Dan is
Okay.
tall.
That
guys.
David can't be tall.
Oh, no, that's the weird
part
one.
that I'm arguing. What do you mean you can't be tall?
Because I'm used to not worrying about height of doors. I've seen
Well, Dan
a lot
doesn't
of
have that.
athletes hit their heads
Yeah, but
and
that-
have to
those
duck
are people
down
that
on
are
a boat.
6'10".
No. You go on a boat, like on a ship or a boat.
Boats are tight.
You have to.
Rich people do go on boats.
Being as tall as Dan is way worse than being as short as I am.
I don't know about that.
Anyone else got a suggestion? I mean, you guys are all playing this with
I know
one
who
card
I
in
wanna
your hand,
be.
so I'm winning so far.
Lucy?
I have 2 cards. They
I have
only have
one.
one.
Okay.
I want to be the person on the crime show that just is in charge of finding the people, like with their computer. They call them up and they're like, Penelope, go here, because you're famous but not too famous. You get all the royalty money from when they play that on like USA 100 times a day. You get all the perks, but none of the downfall.
You
And
want
you
to
don't really have to
solve
do anything.
crimes
So you wanna
without
be
being
like-
in danger.
You want to be a kind of a background actress in a
Like a-
periodical about crime?
Like a B-list celebrity,
Like
but
an
it's
Sounds
ensemble
like
very
an
player.
E-list celebrity.
Lucy, that's
See?
a terrible nomination.
No, I think it's really good because I would have so much money and I wouldn't have to worry about fame.
I don't think
I'd
you
be
know how to
living a
play
good
this
life.
game.
No, I
Oh,
That's
wow.
what I want for myself, Tony.
And they don't have so much money.
I am staggered.
All-
Is
the royalty-
everybody so far aware that who they are choosing to be is really in alignment with literally the chair they're trying to sit in?
I also
Or
wanna
not
be
sit
Dolly
in
Parton.
Tony's case?
Dolly Parton's a good answer.
That's my second choice, Dolly Parton.
That's a good hand.
good
I mean,
answer.
That's a good one.
yeah, it doesn't. It's not quite a winning hand.
No,
but
it's definitely not.
It's not a bad hand.
But I would
Dolly
be happy
Parton
with my
and
life.
the side person in the crime show.
Yep.
I believe that loses to almost every hand.
I would be really happy with my life.
I don't know. You went with Dan Le Batard, so
Yeah.
I still have a second card to play.
You do.
what is
Do ya?
it? Play it.
I'm going to play the second card. Are you ready? I want to be Barack Obama.
God damn it. That was my answer, too.
It's a good answer.
And I'll tell you why. Because he's managed to do something that is incredibly hard to do. He managed to go from president to a life after presidency that is not in any way a joke or a mockery, effectuating change and being the person who I would love to be in terms of the imprint left, the legacy left. And so when I combine that, the platform of Dan and the idea of Barack Obama and what he can still do for the next 30, 40 years, I believe I have a winning hand.
It's a solid hand.
All right, I might as well go since you took my card. That's my first hand, Barack Obama. My second card in his hand is Oprah Winfrey. I got my own media company, and I'm rich.
Barack's pretty rich, too.
Yeah, I got money.
So you have money on both sides.
Both sides.
Again, Roy and I have this intersecting
It's very disturbing the more that everyone reveals about themselves.
All right, Pablo.
I would like to be, fanfare music please, Rihanna.
That's great.
Riri.
Rihanna is bound by no laws, it seems. She walks out of restaurants wearing whatever she wants, holding glasses of wine. She is effectively royalty in
She
any
took the
room.
restaurant's glass.
Oh yeah, if you look up Rihanna rules.
My grandpa used to accidentally do that all the time. He would
Steal
he would
glasses?
tuck napkins into his belt and then leave, and we'd get home and be like, "Grandpa, you stole another restaurant napkin." It was so sad. They had like a whole drawer in their house full of napkins he accidentally stole from like Outback Steakhouse.
But that's the magic of Rihanna. Instead of that being a cognitive concern, it is merely just
She's
being
allowed.
Rihanna.
She's allowed to do whatever
Absolutely.
she wants.
And the bangers.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
banger after banger.
So that's mine. I feel like I win that.
Still
but
one hand. One card. So you
I'm
don't
holding
have a
my
hand
other
yet.
one.
Okay.
I'm holding my other one.
Jess, have you gotten in this yet?
I can't think of a specific person because what I would like to be like in my life would be an artist, and all of the really popular female artists have lived terrible, tortured lives, so I wouldn't want to be any of them. Right. But like I'd like to go off profession, because if I'm stuck being this person, I want to love what I do, and I don't necessarily want to be like a professional singer, performer. I just want to like.
You can think about it. There's no rules. We can
doodle
keep this
for a
going. Let's
living.
extend this out.
So
I
it's
want to
tough.
see at some point. I want to see at this point on the polls, like all of our choices, to see who the best hand is. We should put all of our choices up on a poll and see.
Can I play Lucy in the first round of elimination tournament?
I'm happy with my life. I don't work a lot. I'm not too
She wants to be
famous.
Chloe from 24.
Lucy
Pretty
wants Lucy wants to be something that is eerily like what she is doing right now, sitting in the back row of a room in front of a laptop, talking into a microphone, helping other people work through disastrous scenarios, like a segment in which we ask Chris Cody to say, hey, who do you guys want to be the most in the world?
So me.
It means I've achieved my dreams.
We continue our ongoing coverage of who we actually would want to be more than ourselves. And a candidate that is conventional is Tom Brady. Right? Like
At this point, like retired. That's honestly, I thought Barack was a good one because he's past, like you guys are saying right now with Mahomes, I have the weight of the shoulder, like the weight of the world on my shoulders. Barack's kind of like he's past being the actual president. So even though he's still doing things, the pressure is not whereas the pressure on Brady right now is not as, even though maybe the Fox job would be pressure.
There was a story recently about a crazy person getting arrested outside Barack Obama's house who found his address and had weapons and things.
Oh,
so
he's still dealing with stuff. I'm not saying.
I
meant
know.
the pressures of being the president.
It might be a little too famous for.
Found his address, huh?
That is true.
Yeah.
And
There
he
is
actually
too
has
famous.
to speak on issues, so he can't retire into the sunset. So when the affirmative action case went down in the Supreme Court, both Barack and Michelle, they had, they've got to make comments and make statements. So they're still active doing things. They've won an Oscar, so there's that too. So there's a lot of reasons. Tom Brady, I would never want to be. I wouldn't want to be Tom Brady when he was the height of Tom Brady. Even in the Bridget Monahan days or the Giselle days, there is no day that I ever looked at Tom Brady and said, ooh, I'd like to be you.
He's too tall. That's what it is.
Right.
6'4", handsome.
God forbid.
He definitely doesn't eat giant bags of candy.
Is that your second card, or are you doing that thing? Like, I'm not saying that's my thing. I'm just seeing if you guys
well,
would like Tom Brady. Did Dan move?
I mention it.
How dare is that a Dan move?
How dare
I'm
you.
not saying Tom Brady. I'm just asking if you guys would like to think about Tom Brady.
I am asking if you'd like to think about Tom Brady because I saw this headline recently where Tom Brady lost 8 figures in this FTX meltdown lawsuit scandal. And we happen to be sitting in this studio across the street from the building, formerly known as FTX Arena. This is a Miami story as well. And so what is happening with what Tom Brady actually lost? Because a big mark against Tom Brady would be that he just lost, what was it, 45?
As a family, $48 million, but it's
$48
absolutely
million,
wrong.
David.
Yeah,
so
that's not the
what
case.
actually happened?
Such bad reporting.
So why is it bad reporting?
Let me present this to the crowd. Let's just pretend that you have equity in a company. Just call it Metalark. And that your view is that that equity is worth $100,000. And then you wake up one day and the company disappears. And that equity is now worth 0. Did you lose $100,000?
Never had it to begin with.
No, the question is if he's smart enough with his finances to like purchase something with that as an asset and thinking that he could cash out at some point, which I doubt he would do, right?
So when you're given stock options into a company, that's what he was given to endorse. That's what these companies do. It's how people got really rich at Facebook because they couldn't afford to pay the cleaning company. I had clients at Morgan Stanley who were millionaires, and their job, they were janitors. And they were early on at Facebook cleaning, and they couldn't afford to pay them cash, so they gave them stock options, which you can wipe your tuchus with unless they're worth something, and then all of a sudden you can sell them, monetize it, diversify, and make money. When FTX, which was a fraud from the start, pays Tom Brady, what they're saying is here, we'll give you $30 million in value. But you can't sell the stock. It's restricted. Just hold on because this is going to explode. Your $30 million is going to be $200 million. And then he woke up one day and the stock was worth zero. He never had the $30 million to start with. So people reporting that he lost 30 and it's 48, but in the divorce, Giselle got hers and Tom got his.
Yep.
So it's 48 as a family when they were a family. But he lost the possibility of having it, but it never came to fruition. So the headline is just wrong.
So if you're Tom Brady, what actually did you suffer as a result of this case?
You suffered annoyance that you had to make appearances to earn the stock options, that you had to do commercials, that you had to go to the Bahamas and hang out with the geeky guy whose name escapes.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam Bankman-Fried, and they had to act
The
all
geeky
like
guy.
You think that Tom Brady wants to do a hang with Sam Bankman-Fried? He was paid to do all these things. The athletes get paid to go to bar mitzvahs or to go to appearances. A lot of money, actually. It's a huge revenue for these athletes.
I think one of the pros for being Tom Brady is that you can be embroiled in a multi-million-dollar crypto scheme and just be fine because it really doesn't matter.
Yep.
Nothing really matters when you're very wealthy.
That is my thinking.
So it's just wealthy, not Tom Brady.
What do you mean?
Is it Tom Brady related that he's Teflon, or are you saying?
Oh no, I think if you have a certain amount of money, you can survive losing, quote unquote, losing $48 million or not being paid $48 million that you think you're getting paid because you already have boatloads of money. So it's really like an extra house in the Caribbean. What's the big deal? He's fine. His kids are going to have generational wealth. And you could say the same for many very wealthy people.
I agree, but that is not the question was, why would it be reported that he lost this money? Because that's a great way to report it, because people then get on the bandwagon of, look at this fraud that was perpetuated against Tom Brady. And when you get paid in stock options, one of the things that you have to negotiate, in case this ever comes up in any of your lives, negotiate the fact
I'm writing this down. Go ahead.
that they're not restricted. Restricted stock options actually are not as beneficial. You want the ability to exercise your stock options and then sell them, because then all of your eggs are not in one basket.
But my question with the Brady thing, to Jess's point, is actually whether being Tom Brady is a particularly Teflon experience these days. Because there are so many stories that indicate that things in Tom's life are not going that great. His household's breaking apart. He attempted to, buy into the Miami Dolphins and be a part owner and then the starting quarterback, and then maybe he'll be back and doing that again for the Las Vegas Raiders. None of that seems to be happening. This notion that this guy who is like the prom king of the United States, the fact that he is just suffering all of this stuff and yet still it feels like, oh, it's just Tom.
Because the life of a celebrity, I think what we all forget is they've got the same mental health issues we do. And you hear it with athletes who are coming out and talking about their mental health issues. Jessica wants to be an artist and then realizes, wait a minute, I don't know if I like their life. Van Gogh, all these great artists.
Frida Kahlo, she had a tough go.
Frida Kahlo's a great example.
Yeah.
You don't want to be Frida Kahlo.
Because of the unibrow?
And no.
Pablo.
Because of her.
Watch the movie, but don't, because I think it's a Harvey Weinstein film.
Oh.
Can we no longer watch any movies that Miramax did?
No, I mean,
We should probably just note it and then feel worse, but
Yeah,
then appreciate
probably.
the value of the
You
artist.
should watch them and feel like shit, I think.
Yeah.
People get
About
upset when I
watching them.
suggest The Usual Suspects. That's
Kevin
a great
Spacey.
movie to watch. Cause
I saw it for the first time after you and Adnan did that back and forth. I saw it for the first time.
What
it was
did
good.
you? But did you not enjoy it more because it was Kevin Spacey?
No, I don't. I didn't think of it.
I mean, should I feel the same way about 7?
It's a great question. I don't. 7 is still a great movie.
I think we've all collectively agreed that we will pay the toll of feeling worse on some abstract, diffuse level. Because, yes, this person was involved in some terrible story, but the story we showed up to watch, the actual movie, the whole point is to be immersed in a world that is not the actual world that we inhabit.
And that we don't want. When we go to a museum and we engage with Van Gogh's, we know in our mind we don't want his life, but boy, we want to enjoy his art. Or when we read a great book, when you read A Confederacy of Dunces, you try not to think about the fact that the author committed suicide. Or when you listen to Sublime, you try not to think of that. Or when you listen to all the other musical artists who died young. Or when you watch a Chris Farley movie. Does anyone want to be Chris Farley? Boy, I want to laugh at his movies, but I sure as hell don't want to be Chris Farley.
So what about the Cosby Show?
Everybody wanted to be Bill Cosby. And guess what? We all had it wrong. Every last one of us had Bill Cosby wrong. So be careful who you want to be. And we're playing this dangerous game. Imagine if it comes out.
You are not pre-canceling Rihanna.
I have a second one.
Oh, no.
Nebulous artist who I haven't determined yet, and Mike Golick. Living a hell of a life. Also, I get to host a podcast with me.
He looks great, by the way.
Love that guy. He's playing in this American Century Classic on Friday.
Stugotz must be
can't
so
wait to
angry
watch.
because he actually is in it. Stugotz gets to every year play in like the Pro-Am, which is the day before the
Stugotz
tournament.
is caddying for Mike.
That actually, I
That's
thought he
going
said
to
no.
be-
I saw a clip that I thought Golick said no to him. It's actually happening.
I think it's happening. I mean, we talked about it on Golick and Smetty yesterday, but I can't fathom Stugotz actually carrying a bag for 18 holes. So
He's gonna be like smoking heaters just walking down.
How would you have all felt if I had said I wanted to be my girlfriend? What if
We
Jessica
would've
had
said
said I
what,
wanted
like-
to be
Okay.
your boyfriend?
We
You
would've
just
said-
you wanted to be Golick because he gets to do a podcast with me.
Oh, are you saying
I
you
was-
want
I
to?
was
saying you
being
want to have sex with
100%.
yourself, David?
Yeah, I was about to say that, but
Is that where you're going with
No,
this?
but-
Sure, that's what
different
he's
term.
saying.
I think Jessica just got away with something that I wouldn't be able to get away with.
Well,
was my
first
point.
off, I just want to state I'm being 100% serious. That is the only reason why I want to be Mike Golick. It's not because he had a great NFL career. He's in the Radio Hall of Fame. He had a 20-year career at ESPN. He's one of the most respected people
Aging like
in,
fine
in
wine.
broadcast.
Oh, he's the
just
ultimate
getting
zaddy in
better
American
and better
sports.
looking as he gets older. He has a great family, kids,
He's like
grandkids.
golf cart. He scoots around on.
Absolutely just thriving. But no, I'm being serious. It's because of the DraftKings show he does once a week with me. And yeah, David, I think if you said you wanted to be your girlfriend, it would be different for like a number of reasons and not
I
quite
didn't,
the same thing
but
at
it's
all.
just funny. It didn't occur to me to say, hey, I'd like to be someone who hangs out with me.
You
Like-
could already have sex with yourself, as yourself.
I've got my second person.
Okay.
George Clooney.
Transition.
George Clooney.
First, I thought you said George Feeney.
George, Mr. Feeney?
No.
Mr. Feeney?
I
Albert
didn't,
Finney?
I
Meets
did not
World?
say Mr. Feeney. George Clooney.
You want 2 little kids running around right now?
Sure.
George Clooney also does that thing where he pays his friends all of that money.
Sell Casamigos, make a couple $100 million. Life's good.
But he actually has a thing where like all of these friends
why
who are
not
not
just be George
Clooney.
Clooney's friend then? Get the Millie.
Yep.
and
You
then-
also just doubled
That
your
is a great
age.
answer.
You
Still
also
get to
just
go.
That
doubled.
is a great answer.
No, it's not.
You also just doubled your age.
And
I'm just saying. You just cut your life right
You
now.
went full click.
I
You
would
clicked ahead to the end of your life.
give the next 20 years to live like George Clooney for the last 25 years. I would give these 20 years
I
up
don't
to
know
live
if
there.
I would do that.
I'm definitely not doing that.
Okay.
Your thoughts, Pablo?